Hello, listener. I want to play a game. The device you are listening to this podcast on is transmitting a signal linked to an explosive device that has been implanted in your chest. If you do not go to patreon.com/FistShark before the end of this recording and make a small contribution, let's say less than the cost of your very own device that will teach someone the meaning of their own life, then your heart will explode. That's if I remembered to make that up. I don't know who you are, so this is kind of embarrassing. I'm gonna go now.
So we have an issue, maybe an opportunity, but probably more of a problem on our hands.
Who does it involve?
It's our old friend Dean Cain.
So it's a problem.
I think it's going to be a problem just because the long shot odds of turning it into something positive are really low.
Mm-hmm.
But basically, Dean somehow managed to start paying attention to the news.
Oh, God.
That's surprising.
Yeah.
I mean, he was in hiding for a while. I haven't heard from him.
Well,
the last time I saw him, he climbed a shed and just told me he was going to stay up there. He was going to stay up there until they let him be Superman again.
Yeah, well, I guess he's figured that if they won't let him, be the limitlessly powerful being that comes and basically holds sway over all of Earth, the next best thing is to be the leader of the free world. Because he's been seeing all of these people enter the presidential race, and now he's gotten into his head that he could be president.
Should have just let him stay on the shed.
I mean, there's no point in dwelling on our past mistakes.
I know. I mean, it was just so much fun to bash him off a shed with a broom.
Thankfully, this hasn't gotten out of hand yet.
Mm-hmm.
He has announced his intention to run.
To who?
Well, he made the announcement to a collection of stray cats in an alleyway. That's actually really most of what he's been doing in terms of campaigning is he's been working on his stump speech to stray cats, which nobody's bothered to tell him, I guess, that they can't vote.
Right. So this is why I haven't heard it on CNN or anything like that.
Right. Yeah, and actually maybe that's for the best. I mean, if we just let him keep on campaigning to animals and, objects, things that have no voting right whatsoever, nobody's gonna notice this. It's not like he's renting a big space and having a rally and having a whole bunch of people come out.
I mean, it's not the first time. I remember that time he kept writing his own press releases and dropping them in my fish tank in my office, which was a good thing because most of them were just sort of veiled threats towards Terry Hatcher. So really, whenever it comes down to Dean Cain trying to do anything in the public eye, just letting him think that the animals have it handled is a good idea.
Well, he certainly does seem to think that the animals have it handled. He's hired a campaign staff.
All right.
It's a group of pigeons. They're not even cooped.
So they're just random pigeons.
I mean, they seem to be operating under some sort of flock nature. Like they're always with him.
So these aren't different pigeons.
I think they're the same pigeons. I mean, I don't want to say that they all look the same to me or anything. I don't want to be racist, but I think it's the same group of pigeons that's just hanging out with him.
Are they flying around him, or are they just all sort of walking behind him?
They're sort of milling about behind him as he gives his speeches. Peck at the ground, do pigeon things. Occasionally they'll puff up whenever he, reaches an emotional high point in the speech. But
so he is reaching these pigeons.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think the pigeons are true believers.
I think
they truly believe in his candidacy. Yeah,
more than the cats.
Now the cats are. They seem unconvinced. I mean, they're very interested in the pigeons.
Right.
So I don't know if maybe securing the pigeon vote might be a lead in towards the cats.
Well, I mean, the last thing you want is to put a cat amongst the pigeons, because that would just be a political snafu that I don't think he could bounce back from.
No, if somebody happened to catch an incident on tape involving a cat and his campaign staff, it could be devastating.
God, no, that would ruin him.
Just from an optics point of view.
Yeah, this could be detrimental to his political career. How is he with dogs? Because I know the last time I saw him interacting with animals, he was chasing a three-legged dog out of the abandoned church that he was living in, accusing it of having drunk all his beer.
That was a fast three-legged dog.
It got away quick. I don't know. Honestly, I take the dog's side in the argument, because it wasn't the dog that was running around with a belt.
Right.
Dean seemed very drunk, so he'd had enough beer. If that dog did drink his beer, then it was doing him a favour.
Well, word on the street is that the dogs are not aligned with his political views, so...
Well, he's always accusing them
I don't think he has that camp.
He's always accusing them of stealing. He once told me that a Yorkshire Terrier had absconded with a box of nails. What use is a box of nails to Dean Cain? He can't eat them, he can't fuck them, and they're the only two things he's interested in. But what's a dog going to do with a box of nails?
You know, this actually does explain a lot about his platform and who he's targeting, because he has been railing in his speeches about how dogs have no respect for the rule of law, how they have no desire to elevate themselves beyond the point of just being lawless beasts running the street and, you know, scrapping to survive and taking advantage of other dogs in their community.
That's really not good for him as a platform. I mean, there are so many dogs. I mean,
that's the thing. It's a huge community, absolutely. You would think.
And it's a sensitive issue. I mean...
Especially lately with Gordon Ramsay and his sort of campaign against him. I mean, we could double down and get him to be Dean Cain's VP, but I don't think he'll go for it. Mostly because I imagine Dean Cain would just steal his food and blame it on a dog.
Well, I think Gordon can't run for president, or for vice president. I think you still have to be a natural-born American citizen to qualify for that.
That's true.
Yeah. But, Secretary of Defense, I mean, there could be a cabinet position in it for him if he campaigns. But, I mean, we're way ahead of this.
Yeah,
let's be realistic.
We've got a whole cavalcade of animals to get through before we even talk about getting humans on Dean Cain's side.
So we have the birds. We have... maybe the cats.
Well, we have the pigeons.
Sorry.
See, that's the problem, is that, like, you can't just lump all the avians in together. Like, there's a lot of this diversity among avian groups. And, between your carrion birds and your predators. I mean, right there, it's huge.
I've seen Dean Cain eat a seagull, so I don't think we're going to get them on side.
Where did you see Dean Cain eat a seagull?
It was about that time he was carrying a dead wasp around in his hand for a few days.
I remember that phase.
Yeah, the dead wasp phase wasn't good. To be honest, I think he was holding it so that the stinger was constantly in it. I think he thought he was getting high off it.
Well, that's going to be another problem, is his drug history.
Well, I mean, the thing is, celebrities of his level, because it's not technically any sort of controlled substance, wasping is a huge issue with certain celebrities. Mario Lopez tried it once, but you know what he's like. He got near one single hornet and backed off. He was like, no, this is too heavy for me.
But the problem is I'm not sure that we're going to be able to convince anybody that he can be trusted to make responsible decisions when he's
no, not at all.
Taking these substances. I
mean, I think he's clean. I think his wasping days are over, but you know what the political world's like.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I mean, if the crabs or the blue bottles get a hold of that, they'll rake him over the coals.
No, we'll never hear the end of it. It will be a month of negative campaign ads talking about how Dean Cain just loves to get off on that wasp.
Yeah. I mean, when Dustin Diamond gets his team of caterpillars on the situation, they are going to bring up everything. They're going to eat up, like that time that he tried to wear a turkey leg as pants.
I don't know what he was thinking. He has to have known, with his history, with his background, there are going to be so many skeletons in that closet to be pulled out.
Yeah, most of them chicken skeletons, because he doesn't throw away his leftovers.
Actually, I find more disconcerting the way he reassembles them after he's finished and puts on those puppet shows.
Yes, absolutely. So yeah, I think what we need to do is really just work on whatever animals we know, see if they're for or against him, just to let him know if it's viable. I mean, what do you think?
Gentlemen, I think it's time we try something new. Now, before you get all, wound up, I want to let you know that I think it's time that we branch into a new genre, per se, of products.
Okay, I'm
No,
trying not to be wound up.
I know.
Yeah, let's stay calm.
Look, I know it makes you guys uneasy, but there's one area where we've been severely lacking, and it is a multi-billion-dollar industry, and that industry is beauty products. We just haven't done anything. Ever.
Oh, it's such a competitive market. There's so many beauty products out there.
I mean, I'd love to crack into it. Like, it's big business, but it seems like a lot of effort.
Well, and the fact of the matter is that, like, we've tried in the past to partner with companies like Revlon and CoverGirl.
And maybe it's Maybelline.
Maybe. I don't know. No success. It seems that there's something about the client base that we attract that makes beauty care companies just disinterested.
Well, I mean, we try and show them, who we've got on our list. Val Kilmer,
Which, I mean, if there were ever anybody in need of an after photo.
Exactly. I mean, he's The Big Show. D. Schneider, like, no one seems to think these are the people that could represent Pantene.
Well, we don't necessarily need a representative at first. I don't think we can do some, underground marketing, but, I think we need to come up with a product. It's about time.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's just it. Like, we have all of these resources that we could put towards campaigns, but we have no product and we can't get anybody to work with us. So I guess the only thing to do would be to develop something of our own.
Our own line of beauty products, the FistShark marketing brand of beauty products.
We can come up with an alternate brand, something that says sexy, something that says beauty. I mean, there's a lot of angles we could go for. We
Soap
could go
by Paul Stanley.
Like, do we want to go? There's a large movement towards natural beauty products. Things that don't use chemical byproducts or processes.
I don't know about that. I love chemical byproducts.
I'm a big fan of chemicals too, because they're generally cheaper to acquire and produce once the manufacturing system is in place. We
can work with different types. I mean, we can have a natural line. We can have a distinctly unnatural line. I can get Dr. Nightscream to, like, Dr. Nightscream has a range of acids.
Oh. So, maybe some chemical peels.
Yeah. I mean, currently it eats through most plastics, but I can try and get them to, like, maybe pop some milk in there or something just to take the edge off.
Well, before we get too far, there's a reason why I bring this up today. Mm-hmm. We have a large surplus of baby waste.
Are you talking about all the poo?
Yeah, the poo.
We do have a lot of poo.
That's true. The barrels have been accumulating.
There's a lot of barrels of poo, and I don't like that it's next to the kitchen.
Yeah, upper management's been on me for a while about getting it out there, so we need to...
The poo's been on Craig for a while as well. I like to flick it at him using spoons as miniature catapults. I should wash the spoons before putting them back in the cutlery drawer. I do admit that's on me.
I mean, I admit it's starting to back up, but I can't imagine what the frenzy is. It's only like 6 months, 2 barrels a week.
Yeah, well, it's gone up to 3 because I figured the poo barrel room is closer than the toilet, so I just kind of crack open a barrel and.
Is that actually more convenient?
It's itchier because there's no toilet paper in there. Someone should fix that.
Okay, I mean, yeah. What are we gonna do with barrels and barrels of poo, though? Like, what are the health beauty care benefits of poo. Can you just smear poo on your face? Is that going to help your skin?
Well, you can.
Who cares? Who cares what the benefits are? Like, if we told everyone, a few years back that a cold sore is something to be ashamed of. And they believed it!
That's true.
We told people that toothbrushes need to have some of the brush hairs blue, otherwise it won't work properly. And people buy toothbrushes with bits of blue on them now.
So,
we just tell them that if we just put poo, right, in a tube and tell people this is skin cream, I reckon people will smear poo on their faces.
We'll just say it's a practice in other countries, millions of years old. We'll just make some history up about
Ancient Slotvanian beauty methods.
There you go.
cultivated through generations of tradition, using all natural ingredients.
Of the earth.
Filtered ingredients.
Absolutely. Filtered through nature's own tubes. Don't get it in your eyes. With an environmentally friendly scent that promotes breathing of the pores.
So this all sounds great. I'm thinking that the first real step would be to get the poo into small tubs.
Tubs of poo.
We'll maybe start with a small test push into beauty salons in the Boston area.
That sounds good. Craig! Craig, you lazy fuck. Yeah. Right. Shut up. Stop crying. You know all of that poo? Yeah. Yeah, the stuff I flick at you. Oh, no, it was poo. Oh, no, it wasn't bad chocolate. No. Go put the poo in little tubs. I don't care where you get the fucking tubs from. And use your hands as well. Don't use spoons and put them in the drawer like you always do. Use your hands.
This is supposed to be an all natural organic product. No tools.
No tools, apart from you, obviously. Find the tubs. I don't care where you steal or borrow them from. Scoop with your hand the poo in the tubs, and if I find any of that poo stuck under your fingernails, I will sue you for theft of company property.
No gloves, Craig. You know latex will ruin the product.
Disgusting little boy. Can't believe he's going to go and touch poo with his hands.
It's disgusting.
What a dirty fuck. That absolutely makes me sick. We have the biggest win of the summer, gang.
Oh.
Do tell.
Hot off the heels of the Aged Ultra, we have none other than Jeremy Renner wants to sign up with us.
That is a big get.
Hawkeye.
He is poised in about 20, 30 years to be the next Liam Neeson.
He is well on the track, except he doesn't want to do acting no more.
Come again?
What do you mean he doesn't want to act?
His star is on the rise, and he is going to just stop acting now. Who's he, Crispin Glover?
Not Crispin Glover. Not Crispin. Let's not insult one of our premium talents. Jeremy Renner has done all that. He just starred in The Aged Ultra. He has played Harkus, and he is happy with that. He feels he's reached the peak of acting that he can reach. Okay? He has decided he wants to pursue a lifelong dream. No other talent agency, no other marketing firm wants to work with him on this. He said we'll be the perfect guys. I mean, I told him, I said, we would literally take you on for anything. Because you're Jeremy Renner. You know that? You've got the chiseled face of a stone frog.
So,
of course we want you.
What does he want us to do?
We're going to help him promote his new act, his new career move. Now, have y'all heard of David Blaine?
Well, yeah, of course.
He's the guy who hangs out in a box for like 2 weeks and doesn't eat anything, right?
It's a bit more complicated than that. I mean, the man's an illusionist, a magician, a tester of his own endurance. He's done a lot of work in London. He stood on a big pole for days, and everyone looked up at him and said, yep, he's on a pole.
He holds his breath for a really long time.
He can do that. He was buried once in a box, and like underground, and it was glass, and you could look into it and go, yep, he's in a box.
Right, yeah, and so Jeremy Renner saw David Blaine do that and thought to himself,
I can do that.
He wants to be a magician?
He wants to do the whole thing. He wants to do, like, the tricks in the street. Like, David Blaine had that show where he would go, like, to strangers in the street and go, you know, I'll pick a card, and I will throw the card at a car, and then the cards will be inside the car. Look at me, I'm flying. All this kind of stuff. He wants a TV show like that. He wants to do the stunts out in London of that whole, oh, I'm standing on a big pole now. Look how clever I am. I don't even need to do a poo and a wee. That kind of stuff. He's really excited about it, and he's already got, like, several tricks, illusions, and endurance tests lined up.
Such as?
Right. Oh, get your labias around this one, people. Jeremy Renner goes out to London, goes Trafalgar Square, stands there, buck naked, right? We're talking everything out, floppers and danglers, with a skeleton that he's stolen from a medical school, and he fucks it.
Excuse me?
Jeremy Renner fucks a skeleton.
Okay, alright,
He has intercourse with a skeleton in public.
Oh god, he sticks his dick right up it.
Very, very, very crowded public square.
Yeah, skeleton on the floor, on its back, you know, femurs spread for him. Him hunched over it, you know, like a bulldog or something. Like, he described this to me in great detail over the course of many hours. Hunched over it, just sort of like intense. He wants to be red-faced, sweating, just to show how much endurance he's got. And he wants to do that for like 5 days.
Wait, this isn't even a magic trick. This is just...
He's just fucking a skeleton. Like, I mean, is this like...
Well, this is no different than, was David Blaine standing on a big pole a magic trick?
Well...
It was a test of endurance, of human will.
Okay, so is it, like, the middle of winter, or is it merely having the motivation and willpower to fuck a skeleton for 5 days straight without food, water, or breaks for toilet?
No, he wants food and water.
I feel like the audience is the one going through the endurance here.
He said if we get a donut truck to pull up, like, you can actually drive it onto the square, and, you know, one of us 3 just sort of, say, every hour or so, just get him a donut and a hot dog and just put it in his mouth while he's humping the skeleton. I mean, it's a real test, because, I mean, he'll be pooing and weeing, and he'll be in it while he's doing it. His knees warm with it.
Okay, so how does he make money, and therefore we make money?
He assumes people will throw coins at him.
Do you think that's a safe assumption?
You know what? If I saw a man fucking a skeleton for 5 days, I'd toss him $1.
So what are the legal issues around? I mean, I assume there must be some laws against intercourse with skeletons?
Is this a real skeleton?
Do they use real skeletons in medical schools?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Then probably yes.
So he acquired a skeleton from a medical school so that he could perform...
Acquired's a good word, a better word for it than what the word he used.
What word did he use?
Violently stole.
Violently stole, not just stole, but violently.
Yeah, he had a brick.
So what, he threw a brick through a window of a medical supply company, stole a skeleton, and now wants to use it in a so-called magic act in which he fucks the skeleton in the middle of a crowded public square? Just to make sure that I got this all...
He dragged the skeleton out the window by its head and ran backwards, dragging it through the field.
You're telling me that Jeremy Renner is giving up a fully fledged, perfectly amazing career in acting to do these low-level street trick? This is a trick? This can't be a trick.
It's really more of a stunt.
Well, again, most of what David Blaine is famous for are stunts. If Blaine can stand on a big pole, if Blaine can be buried in a big box, then why can't Jeremy Renner hump a skeleton for days in his poo and wee, eating a donut?
Because anybody can do that.
How many people have done it?
If they were that depraved.
How many people have done it to date? I don't see anyone else putting the effort in. Jeremy Renner's giving it his all.
I mean,
Jim does have a point.
Can't he find another talent, though?
I mean, this is just one. This is one trick in the bag.
Okay, so what else does he have?
I can tell you're not... Yeah, I mean, I can tell you're not quite sold on the skeleton part. Can we all agree Trafalgar Square is a good location, though?
It's a great location,
Yeah,
absolutely.
It's public. BBC can get down there, take photos, and do a filming on their camera. Good. Okay. We have him stand at the top of a big pole. Like a big column, right? And
Okay, so now column's a lot bigger to me than pole. Like, a pole, you could get your hands around. A column, you might not be able to get your arms around.
Oh, no, it's a massive pole.
Okay,
/
all right.
column.
Or like a tree trunk thing.
The one he showed me, you could stand about like 5 people on it.
Wow.
It's not that impressive to just stand up there, really. Like the one that Blaine was on, there was like a whole balance thing going on.
Right.
That's not quite what Renner's going for. And in fairness, the column is about, I want to say 3 foot tall.
So it's really more of a dais than a pole.
Yeah, and there's a chair on top that he can sit in if he gets tired.
Okay,
And he's
alright.
going to get tired a lot because he's going to be fucking a skeleton up there like the clappers.
So it's this. So
That's the same.
Same-
That's the same thing.
Same
Nope,
thing.
not at all, because he's going to be dressed like Henry VIII.
All right, that's just getting to be a little bit insulting.
Well, his penis will be out.
I mean, I just. Why not anything else? Why not a staring contest with the skeleton? Why not a 5-day handshake with the skeleton?
He'll be making eye contact. I mean, as best as you can.
Yeah, I don't.
Okay, look. Something tells me you're not feeling this
Well,
idea.
but again, it's Jeremy Renner fucking a skeleton.
It's
like, if this
Jeremy
was
Renner stood on a tall column. It's sat on a tall column. Sat on a small column. Fucking a skeleton.
I mean, that's the worst part, is that it doesn't even sound in this circumstance like there's a whole lot of endurance going on. I mean, he could just be sitting there and making the skeleton do all of the work. You know, where's the magic?
Have you maintained an erection for 5 days, sir?
Okay, all right.
Jeremy Renner has. He's made me see it. He is moderately sized.
That's what this is about. That's what this is really about, isn't it? This has nothing to do with Jeremy Renner's desire to be a, street performer that does endurance tests where he fucks skeletons for 5 days. This is you wanting everybody else to have to suffer with the awareness of Jeremy Renner's penis. That's all it is. He made you look at it for 5 days, and now you think everybody else must be made to do it.
I will admit that my desire to push this one through may have a little to do with that. Okay, yes. Okay? I had to look at it for 5 days. You're only gonna fucking look at it for 5 days. But that's got no... I still think that this has sale potential. Who won't want to work? We'll sell t-shirts of Jeremy Renner hunched like a dog over a skeleton.
Actually, you're right. That would probably make a really good shirt.
Absolutely.
And actually, we could sell a baby tee for the ladies where it's just Jeremy Renner and like Jeremy Renner's face looking longingly into a skull.
Yeah, with "you're gonna get boned" underneath.
FistShark Marketing is Jim Sterling, Conrad Zimmerman, and Caitlin Cook. Theme music by Ben Rama. Additional music by Alazar Chand. Our editor is Nick Malone. Get more episodes and learn how to help support the show at FistShark.com. Follow us on Twitter at FistShark for more of our exploits. Complaints can be forwarded via email to fistsharkmarketing@aol.com. And remember, if you think everything is okay, we like the way you think. Goodbye.